Okay. All right, so it's 6:29 p.m. on April 6th. Let's call the Conservation Board meeting to order. We have one item on the agenda tonight. Let me just pull up. It is the Gabrielli minor subdivision on County Road 41, and applicant is requesting approval to split the current 10-acre lot into two lots. First lot, lot one consists of 4 acres, lot two of 6 acres. And the first lot, the 4 acre, would have the existing home structure. So it looks like we have David Gabrielli on the phone with us, or on the meeting with us.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes. Welcome.
Okay, great. Thank you. First Zoom call for me.
Wow, you made it this long. Good for you.
Yeah.
So we're the Conservation Board. We're an advisory committee for the town of Victor, for the Planning Board. A lot of new projects are funneled through us, particularly with conservation in mind, and so we take a look at those new projects. Kind of look at what is the what's the scope and how does it impact things like natural resources, landscape, those generic conservation related items. And then we provide feedback to the planning board and to the owners or to the developers of the property. So in your case, it looks like it's pretty straightforward. You're looking to split a lot and probably, I'm guessing, sell it or sell
Yes.
off one lot.
Yeah.
So,
We're trying to sell the property, the land, and then the house separately.
I see. Okay. I took a quick look at it on Encore, and it looks fairly straightforward. There it is if you're on the Zoom.
Yep.
And so it looks like you're taking the 4 acres to the, I guess it would be the south and east, and cutting that out, and then kind of creating a little bit of a L shape or flag lot in the back.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anything you want to add? Anything else?
No, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Like you said, we're just trying to, the people who want land, they have the ability to maybe build a house there or two. And the people that want the existing home with a pond, and, they have that ability as well. So we're kind of creating the best of two worlds and give people the option.
I noticed that there's a wetland on the property.
Well,
and
that's not supposed to be a wetland there. I mean, is that registered as a wetland?
it is. I went and checked it on the end of, or on the Encore site. So it is on the NWI, which is National Wetland Inventory as such.
Okay.
It's probably just a seasonal wet area, I would guess. It looks like, just based on this. Looks like there's a little stream that might flow out of it.
Well, I think the golf course might be pumping water, directing water to that area. That's the one thing that we have to investigate.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, I've had people walking the property and they seem to believe that that's what's happening, but I'm not quite sure.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like there's kind of a natural depression there. I was looking, there's some slope, slopes down a little bit, so everything runs to that area.
Yeah, that's true. But where it flattens out is where I was talking about. But I don't know where the wetland. I'm not sure what area on that there's a wetland. So, is it right in the middle that you, or is it?
If I guess, Susie, if you pull up that one slide you had, or one chart, it is marked on the survey map.
Oh.
Right. If you're, I don't know if you're looking at the survey map, but
Yep.
Where it's subdivided out, that one lot with a house on it there, just to the north and to the east, there's a kind of a finger shaped area that's hatched out.
Oh, that's a pond. I mean, that's literally a pond.
That's a pond? Okay.
Yeah, that's what you referred to as the wetland?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was referring to if you were looking at the house and you go between where the barn, there's kind of a barn that fell in. If you go, you walk straight on the left-hand side of the house, straight back, you go down a hill and you come back up, and then you'll see a flat area where there's a whole bunch of water that was running into that. I thought that's what you were referring to.
It's like Andrew had to step away for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Matt Madison. I mean, I don't see any issue with it. I mean, at this point, again, since there's no development being proposed or anything, it's simply carving out the land. So frankly, there's nothing, I mean, this is just some boundaries on a map. So
Yep.
as far as I'm concerned, it's nothing that, that I would have any issues with at this point. If it gets bought and someone wants to develop it, then we'll, then I'd want to discuss it. What was your thought around the shape of the two parcels? Just out of curiosity.
What do I think about it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering why you decided to carve it that particular way.
Well, we were gonna try to do 2 acres, the house with 2 acres.
Mhm.
But then we quickly realized that if we're trying to capture the pond within that parcel, that's not gonna happen. It'll be a little over 2 acres. And then we figured if someone wanted to do something else, like tear that house down and just do something else with it, they would have 4 acres to do whatever they need to do. So we just decided to make it 4 and 6, even.
Okay.
And they just kind of like BME just, drew a line, and they calculated how they came up, with 4 acres. So I just said, instead of having 3 point something acres, just let's make it an even 4 and 6. And,
Okay.
that'll give, I guess, the ability to do whatever they need to do. So that's all. So there was no real rhyme or reason to that shape.
Okay.
One thing, I have a question out to Al on this. I guess this is for the board. I'm not sure if this is going to require a conservation easement. I know some of the minor subdivisions do require it, so I do have a question out to Al on that one.
Okay. Right. And if so, then would it end up, which lot would you put it on? Right? Or do you put some on both?
I know in the past I've seen it, like my lot. I know, for instance, my personal lot. It's both the parent and the child. The split lot gets the 50% requirement. So so I have a question out to him, David. Al is our one of our code enforcement officers. If it is required, what we're talking about is a conservation easement that would be applied to the land, to both lots, where 50% of the area would need to have a easement applied to it, conservation easement. But before we get too far, I want to verify that's a requirement.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay. Pat, Tim, anything? Sorry, I had to step away for a minute.
Nada. No, you're good.
Okay.
Nothing on my end.
So what is that required? I mean, what happens now with that question in mind?
Well, what's that's going to be a ruling from Al, code enforcement. If it is required, that's going to go back to you, and your surveyor, probably working with BME, I guess is probably who you're working with.
Yes.
You can, then at that point, draw up or kind of sketch out where you'd like those. We can certainly give some input on that. BME should have a fairly good idea of what the requirements are. There are certain setbacks and certain, requirements, and then particular language would have to then be submitted, and there's a few different generic types of easements. What we call most restrictive and least restrictive, and then there's site specific.
Mhm.
We would, I guess, recommend, again, if this is required, to come back and we can help you mold the easement however you'd like to see it. We want to make sure we're working with the homeowner, and I know you're trying to sell these lots, so you may not know who the homeowner is in the future, but we'd like to work with those folks so that they get the most utility out of the land, and don't feel like that they're being handcuffed, if you will, and can't use it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I talked to Al about the subdivision on a couple occasions, and he didn't mention anything like that about that. I mean, it gives, I mean, we could have done, well, I don't know if this has anything to do with what you're talking about, but he said we could have gotten away with, it's a duplex house, so we could have gotten away with 2 acres because public water was available. But he didn't mention anything about an easement for conservation. And he said it was going to be pretty straightforward from what I understood.
Okay.
So hopefully that's the case.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
I don't think we have any other questions. I appreciate it, and
Okay.
I'm sure Kim or Al or someone from the town will be from the building department will be back in touch with you.
All right. So they'll call me regarding this matter about that.
I'm sure. Yeah. Either call or email. They'll be back. They'll be back in
Okay.
touch.
And then we have to meet on the 27th, I think, with the actual planning board. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
All right.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Okay. I think that was it for actual agenda items. Did you guys get a chance to look at the notes?
Yeah, the only comment I had on the notes was regarding Wilkins.
Mhm.
And I don't have it in front of me, but it referenced that that they're looking to combine service and the showroom together, which obviously they are, but I don't think it was clear that they're completely taking down the existing building and then attaching the new showroom to the existing service on the other side of the lot. Just for
Yeah.
clarification, reading it, I had no idea. And as you guys know, it wasn't until we got to the site walk, we were like, oh, wait, you're flip-flopping the entire parcel. From a conservation standpoint, it probably doesn't matter, but just for clarification, I'd maybe just see if I could tweak those notes.
Yeah.
But other than that,
Um,
the rest of the notes looked fine to me.
Okay. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's try to reword that a little bit, or at least clarify that. And
Unless
then-
I was the only one that wasn't clear. I don't know if I just misread it.
No, I'm reading through it again, and I agree with you. I think we can add just a little more detail on that.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Okay. Anything else?
Not for
And
me.
I'll make a motion. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Tim.
I was just gonna say, nothing from me. I missed the last meeting, so I don't have much comment on the notes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Then I'd make a motion, we approve them with that adjustment, maybe.
Okay. Looking for
I'll second.
Pat raises his hand.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Anything else that we have to cover?
Not for me.
Nope.
Same.
All right.
Well, let's close the meeting. So looking for a motion here.
Motion.
All right. Motion by Pat. Second.
And I'll second.
All
Oh,
in favor?
Uh,
Aye.
Okay.